10 1.20 building tricks. So let's go. So number one, we got a pink flower patch. So the pink petals are a very interesting block in that you can place multiple flowers in one block. You can place up to 4. Also, they are rotational, which means that you can have lots of variety. What you can use this in combination with is if you put some cherry leaves in the ground, you have some pink petals, you can actually get a nice effect. And you mix in some like alliums, pink tulips, just a bunch of pink flowers, you get this. Also, you can have some water in a hole. You put a slab on top of that, so now it's a waterlogged slab, and you put brain coral fan, and it looks like another pink flower, so that's quite nice. Next, we've got chiseled bookshelves, 2, 3, and 4. So here, we've used the chiseled bookshelf as a bookshelf, and so I'm sure by now everyone knows the trick where you have your bookshelf and you mix in some looms to make it look like there's empty bookshelves, which is great. But now in 120, we can still do that, but we can also add some chiseled bookshelves in, and so now we've got some books, and it gives a lot more variety. Only problem is you do need to put your own books in there. However, it is good actually, because it allows you to have a lot more customization with how your books are. Now with the chiseled bookshelf, it's got a very interesting top texture, and so you can actually use it for a floor. And as you can see here, I've mixed it with the beehive, because the beehive has an interesting top texture as well, and they actually work really well together because they're very similar colors. So it works as an interesting floor, and you can use it for that. And just like how the chiseled bookshelf has an interesting top texture, it also has an interesting side texture. And so you can use this side texture, like in combination with oak planks, to make a nice pattern for a wall. And as you can see, I've also used that here, where it's a bit more random than putting it in a straight line. But next we've got the upgrade template and bamboo floor, 5 and 6. And so bamboo is quite a weird block. I couldn't find many uses for them by looking through the blocks. Like, there's not much that bamboo would actually works with. I couldn't really find anything really, other than itself. So the bamboo and the bamboo mosaic work quite well together because they are the same block. And so what I've done here is I've made this diagonal pattern with the mosaics. And it's basically just putting the mosaics diagonally and putting the regular ones like that too. You get the diagonal effect. But then also, something I noticed with bamboo is that the block of stripped bamboo, which is effectively the log, uses actually the same texture as the plank. So this is a plank, and this is the log, and it uses the same texture. Which seems bad, but you can use it to create something like this, because obviously the logs are rotational, the planks are not, but you can use it to create the same pattern that the bamboo mosaic has, but larger. And now we've got the smithing template. So the smithing template has an arrow on it, as you can see, and so you could use it to say this staircase goes up, or you could with an elevator, with a bubble elevator or a sign block elevator, you could say that this is the up one, and this is the one that goes down. Also, you could use it to say something is in this direction, which is where we're going. And now we've got 7, 8, 9, pots and hanging signs. So the decorated pot is quite a nice block, however, you can't actually place flowers on it. Unlike with the flower pot, which is obviously used to place flowers. But what you can do is you can put a flower pot on the decorated pot, and then put a flower in there. And that looks really nice. It's like a big pot, and you can even decorate it if you get some pottery sherds. Now what we've got is using that same feature where you can put anything on top of a pot, as you can see. And so the fence actually works quite nice, just the fence post, because it slots right into here because of the width of it. And so as you can see, I've used it for this pillar here. Well, not pillar, lamppost. And you can hang a hanging sign from here. And what I did in one of my worlds is that I've put directions for this, that, and the other. And also, so here you've got these 2 diagonal chains for with these hanging signs. But here we've got this one bar. So when you place it normally, it will be these 2 chains. But you can change this because something I found out is that if you have a hanging sign, which you've placed on the side of a block, it has the bar, and if you break this block, it doesn't actually break, unlike if you were to have a sign here, and you break the thing it's supporting, it breaks. So what you can use this for is if you place a solid block here, you place your hanging sign, and you break that, you can actually have the, like this log bit here. And now using the same, like, pot functionality from earlier, the fact that you can place anything on top of it, we've got, because it is not a full block, it's like 1 pixel off, as you can see, we've used it for a nice pillar design, because it goes like full block pot, full block pot, and that creates some variation and it looks nice. And it's also used here, where it's more gradual going into the lamp, because the lamp's a full block, and as you can see it's like a transition of 1 pixel, which looks quite nice. Now hanging signs can also be used to create blinds, or if you don't want blinds for your window, you could also use to have it for as like a boarded up window, which works really well with some fence gates and regular signs. And so if we grab that and you can place in a few regular signs and replace some of these with fence gates, and now it looks like a window that's been boarded up, and that's quite nice. So if we go this way, we can find the 10th trick. And so for the 10th trick I built a house, and I've also used a bunch of the build tricks seen previously. So we've used the side of the chisel bookshelf for the wall, and right here we've got a nice pink flower patch, which actually works really well to like differentiate your house from the rest of the bland green landscape by putting some nice pink flowers. And so if we come on into the house, you can see we've used the pot functionality, where you can put anything on the pot. So we put a lantern there, and the lantern fits really nicely in. So a lot of these these smaller blocks work really well with the pot when they slide into this top bit of the pot. Also, we've used the chisel bookshelves, and what you're probably noticing is these pink particles that, there, these pink particles that are falling from the sky. And so what we've done is we've placed some cherry leaves, because cherry leaves are quite interesting in that they create particles underneath them. Pink particles like that, and these pink particles look quite nice, and so you can put them in your house, and you've got some pink particles. You could use it for like a green room build. If you put this in a green room, you could have the pink petals, and that would look quite nice. And it also works well with the spore blossom, which is just it's a great flower. Like, it's a flower that you place on the roof, and so if you're putting these cherry leaves on the roof, I do recommend that you also put a spore blossom, because the spore blossom works quite nicely and gives off some green particles, which would also be useful for the green room build. Anyway, that was 10 building tricks. I hope you enjoyed. Consider subscribing.